morning, students. This is Neha, your faculty. Hope you all are safe in home. Today, we will be starting with another new chapter of history, and the name of the chapter is Pro People Movements of Karnataka. In this chapter, you will learn about environment movements, women's movement, farmers movement, Dalit movement, and Save Kannada movement or Protect Kannada movement, and about Gokak movement. Let's get started with environment movement. The living beings on this earth need to depend on the light, air, water and other material for their survival. Human beings like other animals need to depend on these for their survival. In other journey to become more and more civilized, human beings are killing nature to fulfill their unlimited desire in spite of realizing nature as a wonder to be appreciated. What we are doing to make our life better, we are using nature only as a raw material. As a result, the house of sparrows, which were a part of everyday life, have been become rare sight now, right? Now you go to a place where you can see birds. Why all these things are happening? Because we are the one who have killed the animals, or you can say taken away the places of birds by cutting the trees. Industrial revolution, trade, and commercial revolutions have severely affected the environment. The big industrialists are all desperately trying to establish their control over natural wealth. As a result, new problems have cropped up. Communities are becoming victims of new health problems. In a nutshell, millions of people are facing severe health problems because of destruction of the natural wealth. During the second half of the 20th century, environmental awareness movements had started in order to enlighten people about the importance of the environment. In the 1970s, the environmental movement started as a global campaign. With the beginning of mining in the Western Ghats, environmental protection movements started to take speed. Sahyadri Mining Protest Forum started opposing the mining operations in Kudremukh and surrounding areas. The central government had started an iron ore processing unit. Due to this, the Bhadra river got polluted at its source itself. As a result of this struggle, the government was forced to take out certain environmental protection measures. The Tunga River protection drive agitation started after people realized that the river was getting polluted. The forest of Sahyadri mountain range slowly started to vanish, okay, because of the pollutions. To grow and protect trees and to prevent their destruction movements like Chipko and Apiko started in various regions. We cannot forget the role of Sundarlal Bahuguna, who dedicated his whole life for the Chipko movement. The movements which have made headlines in the recent past at national and international levels were the movements against the mining in Karnataka and against mining and looting the natural wealth of Bellary, Tumkur, Chitradurga, Chikkamangaluru, North Kannada, Davangere, Ramnagara and other districts. The Karnataka Lokayukta serious consideration of the various public interest litigations and detailed investigations in public interest are certainly exemplary and worth mentioning. As a result of such serious attempts, Exploitation of nature is coming down, but it's coming down slowly. Even today, many agitations are going on. In Karnataka, organic farming mission was established leading to the encouragement of organic farming. Many farmers are benefiting from organic farming. In these areas, Karnataka is the forefront in the entire country. Now let's study about women's empowerment. The women's movement in the beginning laid more emphasis on women's education. In Karnataka, Sri Rangamma and Sri Rukmanamma were the first women to get BA honors degree. And Indrama was the first woman mayor of Bengaluru. In spite of this, women empowerment was a distant dream. Okay, it was not that easy in the olden days. Women did not have right to property. Women belonging to different religions are subjected to different types of exploitations. Each woman had a different problem or different difficulties to face. Kids, many women participated in the freedom struggle coming out from the traditional family boundaries. Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay, Sarojini Naidu, Aruna Asaf Ali, Dr. Matulakshmi Reddy, and others are worth remembering here. The celebration of International Women's Day started from the year 1975. Since ages, farmers have been called as the backbone of the nation, but facilities were never given to keep this backbone stronger. Even today, our farmers have remained in helpless situations. The big industrialists have decided to fix their problem, but students, the farmers never got the price they wanted, or you can say the products which they have produced, they couldn't get the correct amount. If they have produced the product of 10 rupees, they used to get only 3 or 2 rupees, and they used to depend on rain too. If there was no rain for the particular year, the crops are gone. They couldn't harvest the crops. In this process, many farmers have committed suicide. Though the farmers are fighting for their rights, a life of happiness have remained elusive still. During 1950s, the sociologists organized farmers' movement in Uttar Karnataka district. In 1972, Grab the Land movement took place in Kolar. And in 1980, farmers from Malaprabha River belt raised their voice when their cotton crops failed. Some farmers died due to police firing. The farmers continued non-cooperation struggle. These struggle made farmers to form their own organization. Karnataka Rajya Raita Sangha was formed first in Shivamogga, and it took up a local farmers' issue. It restricted the arrival of foreign companies that were aiming at distributing the farming in the long run. Let us now go ahead and study about the achievements of Dalit movement. A famous psychologist R.D. Leong said, "You can understand the experience of the other person, but you can never experience the same experience." Okay, when we see someone else, we can only see the problems, and we say that we understand the problem, but we never know from what trouble the other person is going from the same problem, right? These words apply well to the Dalit and the women lives. Dalits had no place in the Varna system. They were beyond the Shudras in the social status. Since they were born in untouchable caste, they had to remain away from the mainstream. But during the colonial period, the issue of Dalits were discussed at national platforms. The discussion between Gandhi and Ambedkar during the decade of 1930s is the main evidence of this. Though their aims were same, both went in their own paths. Following the visit of Swami Vivekananda, on his suggestion, the ruler of Mysore state, Chamraja Wadayar, then took the Dalit issue seriously and opened separate schools for them. And many non-Dalits fought for the rights of Dalit in early period. Okay, the people who were not even Dalit, they fought for the welfare of Dalits. Now Dalits are representing themselves well. Ambedkar is the major source of motivation for them. His call, education, association, and agitation became their basic traits. They became politically active in order to solve their problems. Ambedkar not only became the symbol of self respect among the Dalit, he was called as the Dalit son. All these developments are clearly witnessed in the history of Karnataka state. The non-Brahmin movements that arose during early 20th century never included Dalits completely. The questioning of this led to the growth of the Dalit movement during 1970s. It became a major force later. Shamsundar founded Bhim Sena in 1970 in Hyderabad, Karnataka. The turning point of Dalit movement was the Bhusa incident of Basavalingappa, which was in 1973. In 1976, Dalit Writers and Artists Association was started in Bhadravati. The beginning of Dalit movement in Karnataka can be traced from here onwards. Later, under its association, Karnataka Dalit Sangraksh Samiti was found, that is DSS. Professor B. Krishnappa was its state coordinator. Like this, DSS got an institutional structure. Slowly, the DSS extended its area of operation by including government officials, women, students, writers, and artists. Dalit writers like Devanura Mahadeva and Dr. Siddhalingaya presented the inner life of the Dalits through their literature. Though Dalits are in the position of directing the various aspects of the society, the path to be treated is still long. Let's get ahead with the next topic, which is Save Kannada movement or Protect Kannada movement. In Karnataka, integration movement brought confidence and self of unity among the Kannadigas. After 1960s, when the speaker of other languages started creating disruptions in Bengaluru, A.N. Krishna Rao, Chidananda Murthy, M.N. Ramamurthy, Vettal Nagaraj, and many more, or you can say many others, including organizations like Karnataka Yuvajana Sabha, Kannada Jagruta Prashasti, and Kannada Shakti Kendra, succeeded in securing supremacy for Kannada, Kannadiga, and Karnataka. The Gokak movement. The 1980s was a period of agitations for securing the existence of Kannada language. The whole of the Kannada community came together and participated in this. The linguistic minorities in Karnataka were very adamant because they didn't wanted to learn Kannada. Okay, they were adamant in saying that they would not learn Kannada but get educated in their mother tongue itself. When these things were going, Chief Minister R. Gundarao had visited Udupi. The pontiff of the Mutt demanded that he give importance to Sanskrit. As a result, now the fighting of the languages was settled for some times. It was not solved, but still it settled for a while. After this, a committee was formed to decide the place of different languages in education, and Professor V.K. Gokak was the chairperson of this committee. The committee recommended that the priority should be given to Kannada and that it should be made compulsory in education. This committee allotted 325 marks for the third language formula. It also recommended that in the three language formula, Kannada should be the first language with 125 marks. But the Gokak report was not accepted by the government. Then, an intense agitation under the leadership of Kannada artist Dr. Rajkumar took place throughout the state. Senior writers like Kuvempu, Patliputtappa and others extended their support to this agitation. Students, the important slogan of Gokak movement was "Name is Karnataka, let the breath be Kannada. Let Kannada thrive, towards that we strive. Implement Gokak report, let Karnataka be filled with the fragrance of Kannada," and many others. Panchayat Raj system. Panchayat Raj system can be defined as decentralization of administration. It aims at giving authority to the local people to participate in administration and take their decision. Though ancient India had a tradition of local self-government, after independence the system was given to the constitutional. In 1955, the central government formed a committee under the chairmanship of Balwant Rai Mehta. This committee recommended three-tier local administration system. The three levels of the administrative system are Gram Panchayat, Taluk Panchayat and Zilla Panchayat. The Janta government that came to power in Karnataka in 1983 brought an revolutionary changes in the Panchayat Raj system. The architect of this system was the Minister for Panchayat Raj, Sir Nazir Saab. This system created many opportunities for the Dalit, people of backward classes and women to participate in self-government. Thank you very much for paying attention. That's all from this lesson. Students, before logging off, don't forget to mention your name, class in the comment section below. Have a great day ahead.